So I just took you through part 1 of our liver cleansing, why it's super important, and what I have been doing. And of course, make sure you go to my YouTube video so you can actually see the full video on how to actually do the amazing liver flush, the liver and gallbladder flush. Totally recommend it. So the second part of this is something that I've been doing, and I know a lot of people think this is crazy and wonky, and people have been asking me quite often, like, what are coffee enemas and why do you do coffee enemas? What are enemas in general? And believe it or not, guys, yes, this crazy contraption here with a tiny little thingy on the end, most people think that you're supposed to get stuff out of the colon, not really bring stuff into the colon. But the more and more that I have been doing my research and learning about enemas, it literally has changed my life. You know, there's actually been 2 discoveries that I found that have really changed my life. And the first one is actually the power of antioxidants and alkalining my body. So getting more greens, you know, making sure that I have my balance in my pH levels. You know, that has been huge for me. And then the second discovery that I found that has really helped transform my life has been doing coffee enemas. And I have just seen my health just improve and increase dramatically since I introduced this. And what I found through my research, and what I found was really crazy, is a lot of alternative medicine, like alternative cancer therapies, they have been using coffee enemas. Many of the alternative cancer therapies have been using coffee enemas. And one study that, one of the research articles that I was looking at is how long ago that they were actually doing this. And the very first that I can find was Dr. Gerson, and this was about 60 to 70 years ago in respect to doing it on cancer patients. So I thought, wow, you know, like, this is not just recent. This has been going on for a while, but it's really not out in the mainstream because it is alternative therapies to cancers. So what I did for you ladies is I drew up, to the best of my ability, because I'm not an artist, I drew up basically kind of like what our large intestine looks like, okay? And I'm going to kind of take you through what a coffee enema does and why it's an amazing and what it actually does for you here. So, yes, I brought out my whiteboard, kind of, sort of. Okay, so basically this is an illustration of your large intestine here, okay? That's your ascending, this is your transverse, and this is your descending, and that is your bum hole right there, your rectum. And this guy, like right in between, this is your small intestine, right, where most foods and your nutrients are being absorbed here. But basically everything makes its way to here, and you know, we start to absorb some stuff free again, and but this is where, you know, digestion on everything takes place. And one thing that happens is a lot of people, as you know, get constipated. Well, what does that look like? Kind of looks like, I'm going to try to draw this first. So that's kind of like a little bit what constipation looks like, okay? And a lot of people are getting constipation, and that's a problem, okay? That's a problem. Let me see if I can just put my finger on there so you can guys kind of take a look. So as you can see in this diagram, it's a problem because you have just stuff sitting there, all right? But there's not enough lubrication in there for it to be able to come out, okay? And that's what's crazy about all this. You know, you want the body to be able to move out. And this is what happens. You have more weight on you, and you have what's known as auto-intoxication. Well, what the heck is that? Okay, basically you have fecal matter, and it's just sitting there. And you got to kind of think of like garbage, all right? What happens when you leave your garbage out for a while? You know, it becomes stinky, it becomes moldy, you have bugs growing, parasites. You get bugs growing, you get like maggots, and it just becomes toxic, and it becomes gassy. And that's exactly what happens in your intestines here. That's exactly what happens in your large intestine. It becomes gassy, it becomes disgusting. And this is where a lot of disease starts to happen. And this is why you're seeing so many people sick. And literally, doctors will flip and laugh at you. Okay, they'll laugh at you. They'll be like, oh, there's no research leading to auto-intoxication. Yeah. Okay, doc. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll just keep taking your pills. Yeah. So basically, you know, toxicity, gas is a huge problem. And, you know, as you can see here, most stuff is like, most of our stuff, most of our food, most of our nutrients are supposed to be absorbed in the small intestine, right? Well, you do reabsorb some stuff, you know, and some water back in the large intestine, but this is usually where, you know, you want to get rid of the stuff, you know, and that's where the colon does its job. And you can see these kind of like, they look like little, like clouds, right? That's what peristalsis is like, right? You want it to go through and it digests, and then you get rid of all your stuff. So why coffee enemas? Okay, why well, let's just say why water enemas? Okay, well, with most people getting stuff stuck, you know, as you actually just do, well, basically what would happen is that you would just have like this little thing here in your skiing. It's like, has anybody ever gone in a colonic done, you know, or hydrotherapy, hydrorectal Basically you have this little tube, okay, little tube like this, and you know, it's very small, and basically what it does, it shoots water up through the rectum, right? And it shoots water up, and as you leave it in there, it helps disperse this unneeded and unwanted fecal matter that is being stuck through constipation. And also, even if you're not constipated, believe it or not, a lot of people, because of their unhealthiness, you know, they still get stuff stuck in there, right? And it can be anywhere, right? So what that water does is it goes up and it helps remove any of the plaque or any of the crap that's stuck there and helps flush it out. All right, so that's what a regular water enema does. It feels so nice, and it just gives you a beautiful little bath, and it basically, like, you know, cleans out your colon, just like when you go and you take a shower. Well, this is cleaning out your beautiful bum, and it's cleaning out your beautiful intestines as well. So why coffee enemas? This is what's really super cool. So basically what happens with the coffee enema, if you put it, so what I want you guys to understand, this is so different than drinking coffee, okay? So what basically happens is that research has actually seen that caffeine is actually amazing for stimulating, hang on a second, where is the liver? Right here. I had to think about that for a second. The big L, the liver. Yes, the liver. And we're talking about the liver today. So basically what happens is that it comes through the bum, right? And what's interesting is that the caffeine actually helps stimulate the liver to excrete more toxins, because there's a bunch of nerves in here, okay? And what happens is that the caffeine goes up and it hits these nerves that send messages right to the liver, okay? And what happens is that it stimulates the liver with the antioxidants and also that caffeine to excrete more of the toxic buildup, more of the crap, and whatever is kind of being clogged in there, and be able to release it. So on top of it stimulating the liver to be able to eject so much of the extra toxins and the crap, because let's face it, our livers are overloaded, they're overbeared, you know, they're just absolutely toxic. So being able to get rid of this more and more of the toxic crap that is possible, the better. And yes, it is amazing to do that. But on top of that, this is what's really super cool. And I know many of you have heard me say the word, this antioxidant, glutathione. So what happens is that these, like the antioxidants and caffeine from the coffee, actually stimulate an enzyme in the liver called glutathione S-transferase, okay? And that actually stimulates a higher production of your own body's glutathione antioxidant. And just so I rephrase your memory, glutathione is actually your body's most powerful antioxidant that it can produce. Can't really get it from food, so you got to be able to produce it in the body. And you're stimulating the liver to be able to produce more of it through the coffee, the caffeine and the antioxidants that are stimulating there. And that's what it's so cool. So the coffee is actually just being transferred through the hepatic vein. It's actually not being digested. It's not going through your through your bloodstream. So you're not going to get that caffeine high, which is actually not that great for you to be drinking all this flipping coffee. But it's actually completely awesome to put it through the rectum. I know, crazy, right? But it's so much crazy evidence and studies have been shown to be able to help the body in so many more ways than one, you know. And it's just amazing. And like overall, you feel lighter, you know, you feel more energized because, you know, your body's just getting rid of all this crap. You know, you're feeling, obviously, that it's helping you lose even more weight. You know, you're flushing out more toxins, and you're just going to feel better just overall, right? Like, you're just going to feel absolutely fantastic. And that's exactly how I've been feeling. And, excuse me, it is really hot in here. So what I've been noticing as well is that if I feel like I know that I have a parasite coming on and I didn't see it in my, when I go to the bathroom in the morning, I will do a coffee enema, and just so happens, wow, I was right. Yes, there was one stuck in there, but because I did the coffee enema, I was able to release and I got it out. And, you know, it's crazy because the more people that I speak to that have been doing coffee enemas for a long amounts of time, the more bile that they're getting out, the colors of it is just getting darker and darker because it's just reaching deeper and deeper into the liver. It is just absolutely mind-blowing and fascinating. And this fascinates me, and I really hope that you understand this diagram. You know, it's the best of my ability that I can do, okay? I'm not an artist, but you get the idea. The fact that the caffeine does not go to our bloodstream because we're not being digested, it just goes through the nerves, through the hepatic vein, and it just hits that portal to the liver to stimulate that liver and do what is necessary to be able to detox more, to be able to stimulate the liver with beautiful antioxidants to make it feel better. It is an incredible, incredible discovery, and I absolutely love it. You'll have better skin. You got to remember, our livers are just bombarded with toxins daily. They are overworked, overbearing, and that's why many people can't drop weight. That's why hormones are just freaking out of whack, because the liver is just so overtaxed, right? So here are some ideas to be able to give to you. I know some of them are quite advanced, but anybody could do this. You can literally, I am going to do a full video on how to do a coffee enema. I did have a girlfriend over here over the weekend, and yes, I literally showed her, yes, we're friends, okay, showed her how to do one. She got a little nervous, but I can guarantee you, once you do them, you're not going to become addicted to them, but you're just going to become obsessed with feeling really good. You can buy these things on Amazon. I know quite a few ladies that I've spoken to already, and even quite a few clients that have had come and go in the past have already started and continue to do their coffee enemas. And you can do them once a week. They're recommended to do once a week. People who are more sick, more ill, have more chronic conditions can do them more. When I first started doing my cleansing in January, I did one every day for 2 weeks, and then I started tapering myself off. And I absolutely fell in love with it, and I do them once, sometimes twice a week, but right now, once a week is great. And I even do different enemas. So I do the coffee enema, I do a water enema, which is just basically water and Himalayan salt. You can even do apple cider vinegar as well. And sometimes what I'll do after I'm done an enema is I'll take a probiotic in a tiny little, like, I don't have it here, but it's basically like a little, like you can buy like a little enema, like a poof thing. I'll try to take a picture of one, and I'll put it so I post it so I can show you guys. But basically, what I will do is I'll put water, just tiny little bit of water, right? Because you don't want a lot, because you don't want it to come back out. Just a tiny little bit mixed with my probiotic, and I'm putting good cultured bacteria back into my colon, back into my intestines, because I'm getting rid of the bad and I'm shooting up some good. So I know many of you are going to have questions on this, and don't worry, I am here for you, but I promise you it has been life-changing. I literally did one this morning, and I love it because you just feel energized after. It's not like a caffeine rush. You just feel great because your liver is stimulating, and it's stimulating great antioxidants, which just make you feel flipping great. So I hope you guys learned a lot out of this one, because your liver is your lifer, baby. If you don't have your lifer, you ain't living, all right? How you heal one thing is how you heal everything. That is something that I heard from a great functional doctor, and I was like, wow, that is so true. The way you heal anything is how you heal everything. So taking care of yourself, taking care of your diet, knowing that you have one body, do not abuse your body. The days that you really feel like I want to abuse myself, just remind yourself of how amazing you are. And take care of yourself. All right. If you have questions, please feel free to ask me. We have still some time left, so I really hope that you got some great input on this. It's not weird, okay? It's just different. Not what we're used to. But believe it or not, in many practices all over the world, this is very common. If you go to Europe, there's a bidet before a toilet, right? Because they like to make sure that they clean their rectum. Here, we are filled with disease. Why? Because we're not cleaning ourselves properly. And that's a fact. See you soon, guys.